Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day's going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, I have a fun card to share with you. It's going to be an inspirational card, and we're using a beautiful flower die set called the Lotus Flower from Hero Arts. This is part of their brand new Tranquil Garden release. And it's very easy to put together, and it's just beautiful. There's a bud, and then there's 2 lotus flowers and some foliage. We're just going to be using the large flower on our card today, okay? And then for my greeting, I mentioned inspirational, and this is a great set for that. This is called Keep Growing, but I think we're going to end up using Good Things Take Time for our card today. So let's jump in and get started. I chose some really soft colors for my card project today. For my leaves, we're going to be die cutting out with some sage cardstock, and there's several leaves here that I'm going to cut out. There's even some little sprigs that you can add to the stems. I don't think I'm going to use the stems for the leaves. I'm just going to use the sprigs and then those fluffy leaves. Okay, for my lotus, I mentioned just the larger one. I'm going to be using my Spellbinders chiffon cardstock. Okay, and we're going to take this piece and then all the layering elements to go with it, which would be this one and this one. These 2 single ones. And this one, it looks like a leaf. You can actually use that for a leaf if you wanted to. Okay, and then there is the flower stamen that I'm going to be adding, and I'm using some yellow cardstock. And I'm bringing in some of my Neenah Desert Storm cardstock, and we're going to die cut out the larger leaf foliage here with this. I'll die cut out 2 with this. Once I have everything die cut, we're going to do a little ink blending. I'm going to give my Distress Oxides some love today. I have Worn Lipstick, Peeled Paint, and Vintage Photo, and I'm just going to add it to the bottom of all of these pieces. So we have a little extra color to our lotus. Now we're going to quickly layer them together. To layer it, it's very easy. I'm going to add a little dot of glue at this middle piece, and this piece layers right on top here. Next, we're going to take this piece, add a dot of glue here at the base, and then we're going to add this. I am going to curl the leaves up just a little bit to give it a little bit of dimension here. And I'm actually going to offset it too, just to give my lotus some more petal power. And then with this piece, we're going to add this to the very bottom. Wonderful. Now we have our last 3 pieces. I'm going to add a dot of glue here, and then we're going to add the front petal. And for the stamen, I'm going to bring in a little bit of brown ink. I'm going to use my Vintage Photo and just add a little bit of brown at the very tip here, just to give that a little extra something. I'm going to add a little, we'll put some glue at the bottom, and then I'm going to bring this petal. You can go as low as high or as high as you want with it, and I want my little stamen to be a little bit higher than normal. Okay, I'm going to flip this over and give it even more dimension by adding some small foam squares. Okay, and then we're going to take this layer and layer it right here at the bottom of the lotus. And there is my lotus. It is so pretty. Okay, I'm going to make 2 more of these. Okay, and before I do that, I do want to do a little ink blending on the rest of my foliage. So with this leaf that I cut out with the craft, I'm just going to add a little bit of brown to the edges. I already did the other one. Okay, and then for my lotus leaves, I'm bringing in my peeled paint. And this doesn't show up very much, but I'm just going to add a little bit here. And I die cut out several. I'm not sure if I'll use them all, but I always like to have more than less. My flowers are done, my leaves are done, okay, and I have some ink left over on my desk. I'm going to use it. I'm going to put it to good use. Let me trim down a panel. I'm going to trim a panel down here of white cardstock to 3 1/4 inches by 5. Okay. And then I'm going to use my spray bottle here. And I'm going to add some water to my distress inks. Okay, first I'm going to pick up a little bit of the brown. I'm going to go in little sections. And then I'll add a little green. This is not watercolor cardstock, it's just regular white cardstock, so it's really absorbing. So I have some green in my brown. Now I'm going to fill in some of the areas with pink. There we go. Okay, so this panel is nice and saturated, but I didn't waste it, and we'll use this in our background. I'm going to clean off my work surface, and then maybe a little more pink. And then I will dry this with my heat gun. I don't want that line there. And I'll be right back. Okay, my panel's nice and dry. It is pretty warped. So, but that's okay. We're going to load it up with some foam tape. I'm going to take one of my circle dies and we're going to cut out a window in here. The inside die is 3 inches, okay? And I'm going to take the inside die and then I'm going to cut out a partial window here. I'm just going to tape it down and run this through my die cut machine. And then while I'm die cutting, I'm also going to take some of that Neenah Desert Storm craft cardstock. Okay, and then I'm going to take the largest, and then I'll take this piece and I'm going to cut out a really thin frame, okay, with my craft. Running it through my die cut machine actually helped flatten it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to use my glue. I'm going to go around the edge here. We're going to go around the edge, and then I'm going to add my circle. Wonderful. Okay, while I was die cutting, I also die cut out a slightly smaller circle for the inside of this, and then I created another thin frame that I'm going to go around the edge with and add that. There we go. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to pop this up with some foam tape, and then for this one we can go ahead and stamp our greeting in here. I'm going to stamp it with my VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink, and we'll stamp it in the middle here. We have foam tape behind here. This is going to go to the left here of my card base. Lovely. And then I'm going to take my greeting and just put this in here. I love the shadows that this adds. Just something a little extra special to the card base. Now what we're going to do is add our 3 lotuses and our foliage. I did trim the bottom of these stems off just so they fit a little better. I just took them off here. And I'm going to curl them around. Next I'm going to add my lotus, and I'm only going to put glue in the middle because I may do a little tucking with them, and I'm not going to add any foam tape with them because there's going to be a lot of dimension already here. And then we can tuck some of our leaves in here. For finishing touches, I'm bringing in some of my Color Essential gems. This is Aura, and that will finish off my card project for today. A nice encouragement card with some pretty lotus. Have a beautiful day. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you soon. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.